simple demand is that they all raise and say, amen. Clowns.
Come and get this work. 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 So it's time to clock in. Step into the man, you better be locked in.
Hope the fans are listening.
Yeah, I need to win. Thinking that you got a chance, your odds is very thin. Black Diamond Enterprise. Coming for it all.
Welcome back to another episode of Wrestling is Real and Fans Are Fake. That is so corny that you did that. That is so wild. But I want to welcome you back. It is your man, the CFO of Black Diamond Enterprises, Manz.
And the voice of action, Wayne Maddox.
And we are here to bring to you a podcast that is slowly but surely becoming a podcast for all wrestling fans in the Mid-South area. I've noticed that our following is getting pretty big in the Mid-South area as we represent MACW, a couple other companies. Shout out to my boy Sleazy. Shout out to Action Jackson, APS Sports. We have a lot of things to cover today. We're basically going to break it down into a little,
some bite-sized pieces for us all.
Yeah, bite-sized pieces. Also, we have an event. I was told by the owner of APS, we're not allowed to exactly tell information. We can give tidbits.
We did give a little...
We can't give any dates.
Just sprinkle a little bit on there.
Yeah, so we will get into that a little bit later. But you may ask yourself, why was that theme song played? Because it was a glorious weekend, as you can see from the promos on YouTube and Facebook, for Black Diamond Enterprises.
I always in the past have tried to bring up other things at Black Diamond. This is the first time you have actually wanted to showcase yourself on this. And
you stay in line today. Because as you can ask your boy Atua, my new security guard, Mr. Rollins, the newest member of Black Diamond Enterprises, is in the house today. Let's give an applause for Mr. Rollins.
Oh no, he's a little too close to swinging distance for me.
Yeah, watch yourself.
Okay. I'll stay in check.
So we're gonna get into what happened with that a little bit later.
Okay.
Mr. Rollins is introduced to the world, but let's give an applause today and a cheer as we start our conversation. Well, today's episode we are going to talk about championship prestige. In the world of professional wrestling, everyone. Your main goal is to be a world champion.
Top of the top, king of the hill.
Well, if you know, some companies have world titles, some companies have company brand titles. But the main goal is to get in. And if you're not trying to be a champion, you should not even be in the sport of professional wrestling.
Yeah, I believe it was Cody Rhodes. He said it probably one of the best I've ever heard. If you're not looking to be the best, what's the point of even lacing up a pair of boots? Because it's at the end of the day, you want to prove yourself to not just yourself, but to the world around you. And the way to show the world that you are the best is holding that gold.
I'm not a big Cody fan. Of course, you know how I get down. If you ain't grimy and doing what you got to do to get the win, we can't be cool.
I mean, he had his past with the griminess, and I think he saw himself as more of an honest man, much like his dad. I mean,
I asked your opinion. If I wanted, I'd have gave it to you.
Why did you bring me in the podcast if you didn't want my opinion?
Well, because I'm forced, for you to be my partner.
All right.
Corporate situation. We're not going to go into that. Okay, but today we're going to go ahead and break that down. So I want to get it started by going through a couple of companies and talking about their championship and the prestige of the championship. Now, at this moment, it's been a recent rash of newly crowned champions.
A lot of new champions.
MLW, if you don't, it's Major League Wrestling, just crowned Matt Riddle as their world champion. Prestige on that title is Kojima was the first champion of the old school MLW. Now, if you don't know the history of MLW, when ECW folded, people were like, oh, they were going, all these little babies came out. Ring of Honor, CZW, just all kinds of stuff came out. The West Coast, XPW, it was all kind of stuff.
All the little children of ECW.
Yeah, 3PW. I watched so much different stuff. But down in Florida, there was a company by the name of Major League Wrestling. It was ran and promoted by Joey Styles, Dusty Rhodes. Paul Heyman had nothing to do with it because Paul had moved on, but all of his talent went ahead and sort of immigrated themselves to that area. Now that scene, if you know Florida wrestling, that scene has been deep entrenched into the wrestling fabric. Mm-hmm. Florida Championship Wrestling back in the day, then WWE used it as a territory.
The training grounds of old school NXT, the black and gold.
Yes. Well, with that company, the first Kojima was the first champion. They had all kinds. They had Sad Woman. Everybody was there. Mm-hmm. Well, when the company went out of business, they came back, I want to say around 2018, 19, and they reinstated the World Championship. And the first match they had for that world title at the tournament was Swerve Scott Strickland versus Matt Riddle. So this journey of Matt Riddle winning the belt was a journey that he had taken on 6-7 years ago.
Since the beginning of the rebirth. Yeah.
And so when WWE let him go, he went back and finally fulfilled his destiny. Now, if you watch MLW, they're a conglomerate now. It's MLW, it's Lucha Azteca.
Okay.
Yeah. Lucha Underground Cesar is with them now. And they have a contract with AAA, who have problems with a lot of other companies.
Yeah.
They also have contracts with New Japan Pro Wrestling. They have a contract with GCW. At this time, Matt Justice is basically their version of RVD.
Yeah.
Matt Justice is the MLW Openweight Champion. Fozzy is his manager. He comes out. He does. I mean, he's like, Matt Justice. If you ever see Matt Justice, great iteration, like great reincarnation of RVD as far as the next level.
Yeah.
So in MLW Stardom, I mean, they have a lot of people coming in, but right now that title is, to me, I love the lineage of it. As you know, I'm an indie guy. Yeah. So for all y'all watching the show, I'm not a big WWE guy. I'm a super indie guy because I watch WWE. I just want to say, yeah, what? Because half the storylines are predictable to me. Like I said, that is the major league. AEW, super indie. Just going to keep it real. Spot fest. Drop a guy. 1-2, bam, kick out. Spot fest. So it's like, but with those companies, you don't know who's going to win.
Yeah.
The matches are not that predictable. You can sort of...
You can see the outcome as things are starting to unfold, but it's not like... an example, Cody finishing his story. Something that you could tell was coming... They were building a year and a half in advance. Yeah. So you felt like it was coming, but I see what you're saying on that.
Yeah. So with that being said, the Matt Riddle story was good. Then I just found out GCW. I just found out that you get the information.
Yes, GCW. If I'm not mistaken, Effie just recently, I think it was this past weekend over at the old ECW stomping grounds, the ballroom over in New York.
Yeah, Hammerstein.
Yes, thank you.
That was a big show.
Big show. The World versus GCW. I can't remember which match it was but it was a number one contendership between Allie Katch and Effie. Effie picked up the victory over that, and later that night on the main event, Effie went up against Mance Warner, picked up the GCW World Heavyweight Championship. Applause, everyone cannot be happier. I know I can't be happier for it. It's been a long time coming. It truly has been a long time coming.
Here's the thing too, if you've never seen Mance Warner, he is a old school throwback.
He is so intense.
Stan and Larry Hansen, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes.
It's like all these guys mixed into one.
It's the intensity, the just raw aggression. Like I remember when he did his initial heel turn, and when he became the heavyweight champion.
He had beat up he had actually betrayed the second gear crew.
Mm-hmm. It was GCW has just been blowing it out of the park, blowing it out of the water with how good their shows have been lately, and just the love that they've been getting in. It is so cool to see this like resurgence of this like kind of that ECW feel almost. It's hardcore, but it's not just hardcore. There's true talent and true love and true passion behind every single match. It doesn't matter if there's bloodshed or anything.
Well, if you think about it, they were almost to the point of like a mix between ECW and Combat Zone Wrestling.
Yeah,
they have ultra violent. I mean, they have ultra violent.
They still
have a lot of that hardcore wrestling stuff going on, and I think what it is with them is that they are. I love it because they switched over to now it's more of a viable product.
Yes,
to the point where Triple H and WWE almost tried to buy them
Mm-hmm.
and combine with them. But I love the fact they stayed indie because they've had champs of other companies come in. I mean, Matt Cardona, John Moxley. It's like all these guys have been, championing that company. It's like that. And the thing about that company is like, if you look at it, they literally came from a death match company is basically what they were. They started, a lot of people don't know the history. They are still incongruent with JCW.
Jersey Championship Wrestling, yes.
And it just got on a bigger scale.
Just kept going
Game
and going.
changer. Yeah.
And if we're talking about, I know this is supposed to be about championships and whatnot, I just want to give some major props to a man that is finally starting to get his flowers, because at the same event, there was a Bloodsport match between Josh Barnett and Baron Corbin.
Not Baron Corbin anymore.
No, okay, yes.
Yes.
Oh man, I saw some clips of it. I haven't watched the full match of that yet, but man, it's so cool to see Baron Corbin. Sorry, Prescott. It's so cool seeing him back at it again, back in the ring, and people showing him the love that showing the love for him and showing him showing off his talent that he's always had.
Well, let's give him a round of applause.
Absolutely.
And also let's give him our famous Wrestling is Real fans are fake 3 ding.
Ding ding ding.
Yeah, he that just sounded so nasty. No diddy, ding ding ding. Okay. So to see him come from the scripted, stereotypical for wrestling to go to the indies. Because a lot of these guys started, a lot of people don't understand, a lot of these guys started in the indies.
Yes.
But you don't know this because it's like their indie stuff is like kind of buried. And then they get like, oh, it's
people don't realize until after.
But he's a Golden Glove champion. There's different things about him.
A true, like, brass knuckle fighter. Like, he will punch your lights out in any given second. You can't. He is just such a well-trained fighter in every regards. And he's finally able to show that off.
I think what it was, they kept sticking him with these boring character-like gimmicks. He was a knockoff JBL. Then he was this Lucky Corbin. He was the... Based like Happy Gilmore.
What was that, bum-ass Corbin too? Yeah. Old Pat McAfee gave him?
Lucky Corbin. But I think when they finally turned him face, they didn't use him like they should have. Because I think he can play either side. But to see him out here using his official pedigree as a... Because if you know Josh Barnett, the Bloodsport, that's not just wrestling. That's a lot.
MMA.
Yeah, that
is MMA.
So you really have to have your skills like wrestling and stuff like that. You really have the skills together. So next we're going to start, like I said, we're going up the echelon. I will give props to Ring of Honor. Jericho, the Nueve, 2-time Ring of Honor champion. I think the Ring of Honor product is not...
Just get a little bit of that bubbly going in there.
Yeah, oh yeah, I got you. I really don't think that Ring of Honor is what it used to be. I was a Ring of Honor fan big time because of the indie.
Yeah.
They became more commercialized, and the roster is not really exclusive. They sign guys to that slash contract. If you know what a slash contract is, that's when you're assigned to an affiliate in its umbrella company, AEW / Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
New Japan slash AEW. Some of the women, New Japan / Stardom. AEW, or even the fact of what's the Red Pro? I mean, just like these different companies. So, but Chris Jericho is a champion. I think they did that because they are trying to get a separate TV deal. Ring of Honor. As far as that belt, I think those championships to me don't mean anything because they're just basically like knockoff. To me, they don't have.
It doesn't feel like the real Ring of Honor.
Yeah, the prestige. They still had it going when Mark had the belt, Claudio had the belt, and also too, I hate the fact that if you look at it, they tried to dummy down or downplay the Ring of Honor, so there's a usurp AEW. Look at the belts.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
The belts are like smaller trinkets. It's like you need to, like when Bandito had the belt, when Jonathan Gresham had the old school lineage, Bandito had the belt. They took the belts and they made them bigger, more bolder.
Yes.
Now they're back to that little old school Ring of Honor, which I understand. I've been watching Ring of Honor when it first started. I remember the Hit Squad, Mafa and his partner going up against the SATs and Amazing Red. I remember Christopher Daniels stepping in. I remember Briscoe couldn't even wrestle. His brother was there with him. The Black Nature Boys, Scoop Andrew. I remember all these guys. Xavier. It's like this is when that company first got going. The American Dragon was finally so Skip. Man, a lot of people keep tripping and don't realize this about Brian Kendricks, Spanky, all these guys, Paul London, all these guys were together doing this, and these bingo halls and stuff, they were like the baby of ECW. ECW dropped, they were the baby.
Yeah.
But it was like the younger talent that really didn't get on.
It was kind of like its own, kind of like a cruiserweight division, but just amped up to the extreme for it.
All the guys were smaller, except for like Mad Mafia and all those guys. You know, they were like, and the thing was about that company was like they were fighting for something. Now it's like the prestige of that belt is going down.
Yeah, it's Ring of Honor to me is kind of like how WWE treated ECW after they bought them back in. Kind of just an afterthought. It's like, yeah, we have ECW, guys. Ring of Honor feels a lot like that, but on the AEW. So it's like, yeah, look, guys, we have Ring of Honor over here. Come and watch it. But it's not. It doesn't have the same feeling, that same prestige as it did back in when was their height of it? Probably about 2012, 2014, somewhere around there, and like that big
They've been
peak.
around for a while. I mean, well, even that, not even to the time of that 2017 through 2020 was hot, because you got to think they even had like Truth Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they has management, and then they had Punishment. You know what Punishment is? That is Damian Priest, Mr. Punishment. That's Damian Priest.
Oh, you sure right.
So
yeah.
a lot of guys have went on to do other things. Kevin Steen, El Generico.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got all these guys that, you know, were the faces, and they got signed to bigger contracts and moved around. So it's like that prestige is not the same anymore. You got all these guys that are not there. Seth Rollins. I mean, all these guys. You know what I'm saying?
The people that have basically built modern day professional wrestling right now.
Yeah. And that's what made NXT hot, because NXT, Samoa Joe.
Oh.
When NXT started getting these talents, and NXT was bringing them in, they were bringing in the hot talent from Ring of Honor, talent from all these companies. CZW, they're bringing the hot talent from all these companies. Like, a lot of people don't remember this. John Moxley. That was his original name on the Instagram, came Dean Ambrose. CZW and all these little death match.
He even actually went as John Moxley in WWE a little bit, because he was on Heat, a few episodes of Heat and whatnot back in the early days.
See, so all those guys created that, and when you get to the big time, you kind of switch your game up.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, AEW, John Moxley is the world champion.
Sure is.
The belt is being carried in a briefcase. You can't see the belt. I understand the gimmick is from a movie. I understand it. I get it. It's playing. It's running its course with me. I do think the AEW belt is losing prestige. I'm gonna be honest. The company already is dealing with things. I'm a fan of the company.
Yeah.
But I think
you want to see them do good.
If you're the champion, the belt needs to be out there. Number one, you got too many guys that could get the belt that are not getting a chance to have it, and for you to be the second company, because you can say what you want. Right now, they are number two. Mm-hmm. They are number two, hands down. And to put that belt on Moxley means something, but it's losing. It's not defended like it should be defended. He's really not getting the right type of competition. They're trying to, and their issue right now is the homegrown talent is starting to get pushed down the ladder. That was one of the biggest issues with WCW.
That was their
TNA.
biggest thing. They were so when AEW first came around, they wanted to push those. They seemed like they wanted to push those homegrown talents so hard, but after these few years, they've for some reason started just bringing in a bunch of guys that have already have names. And I agree with you. I want to see these homegrown guys that finally get their chance to finally shine and not just be mid-card. Because it feels like all the homegrown guys are just the best they can possibly get is mid-card.
But in all fairness, though, in order to compete the big dogs, you got to bring in big dogs. But
I get
here's
it.
the thing, though. But WWE has understanding this, too. The WWE fans. The guys that AEW started with were guys that WWE either didn't want any longer or never had interest in. So AEW does serve a purpose, because now these guys are getting noticed.
Yeah.
Look at Penta. Remember, his work style was too dangerous for WWE for a long time.
And now he's the biggest name in WWE. Yeah. That's all anyone can talk about.
MJF, CZW, independent wrestling. Now all of a sudden they wanted him. It's like all these guys that Cody went from undeniable. Went from what's his?
What was the little thing that?
He's undeniable.
It's something to undeniable. But I know what you're talking about.
But now look, it's like he went off and helped create this company. Now all of a sudden, we want him back. So it's like it served a purpose.
Yeah.
And it's like it does that. It serves the purpose.
It's elevating talent that didn't get their chance in the spotlight. It gave them a spotlight to finally shine and for the world to realize these guys are actually legit and really good.
Aleister Black is on the way back.
I
it's
I will pop if we get Malachi Black back on WWE.
Yeah.
He, without a doubt, he's the only reason why I liked Ricochet in WWE. Their little tag team that they had, it was my favorite tag team period when they back. I think it was like 2019 or so.
Mm-hmm. That's when NXT was hot. But another thing too, though, is that it goes all the way around because Keith Lee didn't get a fair shake. Samoa Joe, they said you're done. They said Sting, you're done. It's like all these guys, Jericho, we're done with you. It's like, so the guys that did come over that are being successful, they enjoyed their doors. They're helping it. Bryan Danielson, you're done. Mm-hmm. It's like these guys got to go back to their roots before they retire, and I like that.
Yeah.
So to a certain point, I'm upset about how it's going, but the belt does gain prestige if you put it on the right person.
Yeah.
And so what they're doing is like Samoa Joe having it. Okay, now the belt's like, okay, it's a workhorse belt. This guy's a workhorse. MJF, to me, is the reincarnation of Ramon Ric Flair. I can't stand the guy.
Yeah.
Some of the time.
Yeah, I can see that.
Even me being a heel, I think he's too much. It's like I just don't like the guy. I'm one of the heel. I'm a heel manager, and I'd rather take Mr. Rollins and punch him in the face with this.
All right. We don't need to go get into that legal ground stuff.
Yeah.
Come on.
So, but with that being said, the prestige in that belt is kind of, then you get to New Japan. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, to me, hands down, some of the best talent in the world, some of the best champions in the world, the ugliest belt I've ever seen in my entire life.
well, you don't like the little butterfly?
The Diva knockoff?
You don't like the butterfly?
No, because they took what they did, you guys, they took the IWGP title and they blended it with the Intercontinental title from IWGP, and they made this ugly belt, which to me sucks. I hate that belt. I hate it. It's a little now,
strange.
With that being said, the champions that hold that belt, you have to be super talented. You ever go to a New Japan show? There is no loudness. I mean, they respect the match.
It's about what's going on in the ring and not the crowd interaction with it. It's a performance. It's a true performance. It's an art. It's a skill. It's at times absolutely insane what they can do in the ring and the amount of focus that they need to do it. It's coming from someone who's still training, who's very green and is wanting to get in the ring. Watching them go at it, like a good example, Shinsuke versus AJ Styles back in like 2015 or so. Oh my God, that is such an incredible match.
Well, even not even that. Like just keep going. Will Ospreay versus the Rainmaker, Kushida Okada.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. The Ace. Watch his matches. Him and the Rainmaker, awesome. A lot of people keep sleeping on Tommy Ishii. The stuff that he did. Not ever being world champion, but just like so I saw him and the Rainmaker go for the Continental title. I'm like, oh, this is like Tommy Ishii. This is like a rivalry coming back. Then you got Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega.
I was just about to say Kenny Omega's amazingness throughout.
Man, it's like all like everybody that holds that belt. It's like that belt really has prestige on it.
If you hold it, it truly means you are one of the best champions in the entire world.
That it is hard to get that title.
Yes.
That's one of the hardest belts I've ever seen. And they will put it on you if you are a workhorse.
Yes.
Like you can go through there's certain people I wish would have held the belt. Like I love Naito. That's oh my God, dude, some of those guys I look at like, man, they should, be. I think the prestige of that belt, because it is what it is, and it's been through, the lineage has been through so much on that title. I'm really thinking that, number one, change it to a representable belt. I'm tired of looking at it. But keep doing what you're doing, putting on workhorses.
Yeah.
Sabre Jr. Matter of fact, give the belt to Naito. It's like, put a belt on Naito. Sabre Jr. The Ace shouldn't hold the belt any longer. The Ace is running the company now. He should not get a chance to title.
Conflict of interest.
Yeah. Kenny Omega's like, they have that exclusive deal, so you can even use the AEW guys because a lot of them came from New Japan.
Yeah, that's where they cut their teeth at.
As even speaking of the Young Bucks who went back, and now they have their belts back.
Oh, okay.
They're the AWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
So it's like so they keep blurring the lines. It's like that prestige on that. We'll go to WWE now, which is a lot of people's favorite. Those two championships. Gunther. You ever saw Gunther overseas doing his thing and all, and there's all overseas in the British, English, just the European wrestling scene when he was Walter. This huge guy, overweight, but he can move around the ring, manhandle.
He was a true force to be reckoned with. I'll be up front. I'll be the first to say, not a fan of a lot of just pure attitude in the world of wrestling, just being mean for the sake of being mean. No offense to you. But Walter, he's not just mean for the sake of being mean. He knows that he's better than everyone else. I see that. He knows it, and the world should know it too. And that is why he's World Heavyweight Champion. And I think, personally, he can carry that World Heavyweight Championship just as long as he carried that Intercontinental Championship.
Well, remember when they created that belt? That belt's the workhorse belt. Workhorse championship.
And he's a workhorse. Yeah. He will take up any fight. He's doing it. He's having a fight today. He's having a match today against Jey Uso, Saturday Night Main Event.
Okay, there's one of our problems. Jay's not going to win.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying right there. That's my issue with the championship. Like I said, talking about prestige. Give me a believable match. I know you got to feed them contenders because you got to build them up and beat. Jay's one of the top baby faces on Raw. You have to build a guy up to fight the villain, basically. How
believable can it be when you got someone that's so incredibly unstoppable as Walter, though? I mean, sorry, Gunther.
That's not
who would if we're going to talk about prestige?
I told you already. You already know I told you already. You know my guy for that mission.
Remind me again.
Braun Breaker. I told you that.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, if they said Braun Breaker gets a title shot, that's believable. Because I'm not saying Gunther will win, they're not going to take the belt off of him.
I think they could have a pretty good little three for Gunther and Braun.
Yeah. To me, that is his contender at WrestleMania.
Do we have a World Heavyweight Championship match set for Royal Rumble yet?
No.
I think that could be a good first off.
You stretch that out. Because
just as the first off. Just as a first off. There can be more.
See, no, I'd build it because I'm saying, like, okay, if you look at even Braun Breaker, he's a tweener. He's going to get Sheamus. Sheamus is a fan favorite, but as soon as Braun hits the screen, woo, 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 the dogs get to barking.
Yeah.
So it's like that is a meat on meat match.
Slapping it.
Yeah. So like that is a match that I would love to see. But that belt's a workhorse belt. And because Gunther got himself in shape, he got to WWE, got in shape, took the NXT title. He was the NXT European title champion forever. Yeah. Came over, got the regular NXT belt, moved up, got the Intercontinental belt, held that for a while. Now he's got the belt. So, but the belt has only been held by certain people so far. If you think about it, really, it's only been two champions. Mm-hmm. Him and Seth. The reason I don't count Damian Priest is I think Damian Priest is a workhorse. But the storyline was him leaving, kind of Judgment Day was going on.
Yeah, he did get it, didn't
They played the R-Truth thing. You could see the face turn, and the base of the whole thing was for him to get screwed by. That belt was being used to set up a feud between him and Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Which dropped your prestige on the title. But now Gunther has the belt. The ring.
Anything he holds, there's prestige.
Yeah, and it's hard to beat that guy. Then we go to Cody. The belt he's been crying for forever, he got it. But I'm ticked off because I've never liked the belt when it was blue, red, whatever. Now it's mustard. I hate that title.
What, you don't like a little bit of mustard on your hot dog?
I don't eat mustard. I don't like mustard, period. I hate that title. The Winged Eagle, a lot of people complain. A revised Winged Eagle. Now, I've seen a revised, I don't know if you've seen this, go online. There is a rumor and a little snippet going around of the revised WWE title. It's a blend between the one he has now and the Winged Eagle.
Is it at least better looking than the Heavyweight Championship where it just has the big WWE in the middle?
Well, because what they did was they went back to the lineage of the belt when they first got from WCW, the big gold belt. If you look at that belt, that's all that belt is with WWE side in the middle.
Yeah. It's all that's changed.
That's all it is.
I think it originally was like it was the globe in the middle, right? Yeah. They just changed it to the WWE symbol. Yeah, I love the championship. I wish they would have at least just brought back the original championship. They were just going to do so little with updating the design. I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's like they're sticking at. Okay, and I'm be honest. I'm when it comes to belts, I'm the type of guy that I like for it to pop, for it to stand out. To me, that's ugly.
It is. It's
just a big, and then not only is it just a big WWE sign, it's like paper. It's like thin. It's like you don't have no girth to the.
It was the entire belt is so intricate and ornate, and then just in the middle is a big old W. It feels like it was just like photoshopped onto there, and they said, "Yep, that's good enough."
So now you see why I don't like the mustard belt, because basically all it is just a
one
frame on the
big
outside. Yeah, that's it. That belt sucks to me. So when they brought the
we could at least have a spinner belt, damn it.
Man, come on, man, stop. So when they at least brought the Winged Eagle back for that one event, people were ticked because like that. Okay, that's the belt Cody wanted.
Yes,
that's the belt we need. So for the fact they kept in the storyline that there's 2 title belts, Kevin Owens has one. A lot of people don't know. They think they're hanging up. No, they're hanging up both belts at Royal Rumble.
Getting the good unification of them all.
Yeah, and I think they need to go ahead and just unify them, create another belt. Get rid of the mustard belt. But as far as prestige in that belt, it is what it is. Roman held it for years before Roman held it for years.
He gave it so much prestige.
Hogan held it for years before Hulk Hogan held it. Boo! But before Hulk Hogan held it, Bruno Sammartino, there were guys that held that belt at that time. And that's one thing we were talking about in training, about how, and I will give shout out to my boy Atua. I see you, Atua. We see you on there, buddy. I see you up there. So Atua, shout us out. I will give, hey, I'm sorry, big dog. You put your hands on my boy, my client. I had to, Mr. Rollins had to give you a taste. We'll talk about that later. But that belt, I'm the type of guy, I'm tired of seeing a guy hold the belt for 3 years.
Yeah.
We're out of that era. Those were eras when you tried to sell the guy as the head of your company, as the face, and you did. Back then, you had talent coming in and out, but for your territory, you did one guy that represented your company.
Yeah.
We're not in those times no more.
Yeah,
enough talent.
There's not much of a reason to anymore, because it's the back then. I can understand why back then, because you had to have someone to draw people in. But now, since everything's televised, you can see something from halfway across the world. It's not much needed to have a long-standing champion for a year now. I see where you're coming from and all.
Oh no, I don't mind a year. Just give me a break.
Years.
Look, Sami Zayn should have beat Roman in Montreal. Didn't happen.
No.
Jey Uso popped him. Jimmy popped him. It's like these guys. Drew McIntyre popped him. It's like all these guys you went up against that popped you, and you did not lose. It's like they kept hiding him from Bobby Lashley. It's like, dude, Brock Lesnar. I saw that feud so much. I'm tired of seeing. It's like, really.
We're getting Brock versus Roman again? I thought the last time was the last one.
Roman and Goldberg. Come on, man. Really? It's like,
I will be a happy man if Goldberg never comes back.
Sorry, Action Jackson.
Yeah, favorite wrestler of all time. Action Jackson loves Goldberg. Get it out here now.
Oh, yeah, he'll show you the footage of him being talked to by Goldberg and pat on the head. Yeah, he loves that footage of that. So... yeah, fanboy Action Jackson. We know how you feel about Goldberg.
I'm a fan of Action Jackson. He just has some bad opinions.
Yeah, we're not gonna go into that, are we? Yeah, but so with that being said, that right now is the creme de la creme.
Mm-hmm.
That is the title. That's the belt. That like Joey Styles said one time on a one night stand. As Mr. Hirschman said, that is the belt. That is the title. That's what everybody's just going after. But the fact that Roman held it for 3 or 4 years is like, and then you hold the belt. They do different things that irritate me too about that belt to do things. They break records. When they don't like you, they will break your record.
Yeah.
John Cena, he's going to get a 17 title run. You know why?
They don't want Rick to have it
exactly. Anymore. Ric Flair held it and most of those times he only had the WWE belt twice. The other 14 times was WCW. So we got to make sure we break that record, get off the books.
Man, I have some feelings about the 17-time world champion John Cena. I'm a huge fan of John Cena. He was the reason why I watched professional wrestling as a kid. I personally do not want to see him break that record. I want someone who has been in WWE, period.
WWE. And the only person close to him right now was Randy Orton.
See, that's who I want to break it. But he's been in WWE for the time.
Randy's giving him headaches for a long time. He started getting together. John Cena was their fanboy.
Yes, I understand.
Hogan, Bruno Sammartino, Hogan, Stone Cold, John Cena, and then between the here's the thing that's crazy. But during those times, although I don't like Hogan, Hogan lost the belt.
To be a 17-time champion, you gotta lose it 16 times.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, he lost the belt. Like, okay, let's go to Ric Flair. Ron Garvin. Ricky Dragon Steamboat. That's the oath, baby. Oh my God. Sting. Luger. It's like he lost the belt to people that was like, okay, I believe this.
Yes.
He lost the belt. Barry Windham is like, dude, he was losing the guys that was believable for him to lose to. And so he get the belt back. It didn't lose prestige. No. It just meant that when you lost that belt, okay, watch out.
You're just good.
Forrest and Ric Flair were coming to get you. It's like it made the storyline because how many legs they broke or how many arms they broke up. Shut people. Man, they kept Dusty Rhodes hurt all the time.
Yeah.
They kept Sting hurt all the time. They beat the mess out of the Garvins all the time. Lex Luger got beat up. I mean, it's like all these guys got manhandled. Hogan never had that. Andre the Giant. The double Hebner thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Warrior. They didn't have faith in Warrior. Hogan came back, took the belt back.
Yeah.
Yokozuna was the actual last person they put faith in. He took the belt from Hogan. Hogan left.
Yeah.
But you never had nobody really that was competing with him for the belt. Paul Orndorff. Nobody believed that. Roddy Piper. Nobody believed that. The heels were over the top like the faces, but nobody believed it. John Cena had it. Okay, John Cena got it on the tail end of one of the greatest eras ever.
Yeah.
Because at that time, Stone Cold, The Rock, Triple H,
they're all on their way
Undertaker
out.
were all playing hot potato with that title.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, the two said something about that. You weren't there for the conversation we had. We were on our way to one of the shows, and there was a couple of guys talking, and we got word that a tour had said something about, we got word that a tour had said something about that. During that time, he was right. They played hot potato with the belt. Then you might throw on the person every blue moon that shouldn't have won it that won it. Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Jericho. Benoit. They always threw a surprise in there. It's like
keep things interesting.
King of the Ring meant something in.
Mm-hmm.
Money in the Bank meant something in. Royal Rumble meant something in. You can get a guy now that'll cash in for Money in the Bank and won't even win the belt or have a fluke cash in. Royal Rumble guy
have someone win the Money in the Bank and then don't even get to keep the briefcase. Otis.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I was upset when Otis couldn't even cash in. I'm a huge fan of Otis. He should have kept it. He's my champion. He is my champion.
King of the Ring don't mean nothing no more like it used to.
We don't like King Xavier.
Royal Rumble. You can win the belt. I mean, that is your ticket. Like, okay, it's gonna be our next champion. Royal Rumble. Pump that guy. I mean, sucks. I mean, getting to WrestleMania is like, oh, he did the best he could, but it's over now. It's like, come on, man. It's like that time is over.
Yeah.
It's like nobody's doing that any longer. So then when John Cena got the belt, you still had the remnants of The Rock, still have the remnants of Triple H messing with them. But then you throw in, at that time, you throw in Randy Orton.
Batista.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Who else you throwing at the time? Randy Orton, Batista, The Miz.
Oh, yeah.
Sheamus.
Oh, let's not forget one of my favorite heavyweight title runs of all time, Jeff Hardy. Love that title run.
Well, Jeff Hardy was one of the ones that slid in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because remember, that's when Kane, Hardy, it's like all these little guys that slid in to take the belt. You know what I'm saying? Then the era got jacked up when after John Cena, they decided to put the belt on people like Roman. Finn Balor didn't get to hold the belt. He was the first.
He got to hold it for a whole day.
He was the first original. A lot of people don't know. If you don't history facts, young people, first ever Universal Champion ever for the company WWE was Finn Balor.
Period.
Hands down.
Held it for not even 24 hours.
Yep. But Roman got the belt. He held it. That was it. And the thing that sucked was he left as a face, came back as a heel. During that time, Bobby Lashley, The Miz, and Drew. I was gonna say Drew McAllister. That's his name.
Drew McAllister.
That's his name, Drew McAllister. But Drew Galloway, Drew McAllister, however you want to call him. But McIntyre, he held the belt. Mm-hmm. These three guys were bouncing that belt around. And Bobby Lashley were going, and then you threw in Brock Lesnar and Goldberg.
Yep.
So it's like, so now you come back to Roman. Roman has the belt. Nobody can beat him for it. Bray Wyatt had the belt. Goldberg came and smashed him and took the belt. They sell too many storylines with garbage. Once Roman got the belt, that was it. So for a long time, you had one champion for both shows for years.
Period.
Yeah. But it did put a highlight on the United States Championship and Intercontinental Championship.
I did like that. The fact that Roman did take the big championships, it did put a lot of spotlight back on the mid-card championships that were not, at that point, were feeling very stale, and that they were just throwing whoever was kind of getting a small push from the crowd and a little bit of hype from the crowd onto the championship. Now it felt like the championships meant something, and we'll circle back around to Gunther. He gave that the mid-card championship prestige. Right now, Shinsuke with the United States Championship, giving that championship prestige. It is finally the mid-cards are feeling more like true championships and just afterthoughts.
Since you said that, is it the champion and the belt itself, or is it the chase? Does the whole recipe come together with just the champion itself? You know where I'm going.
Yes.
And the belt, or does it come together with the people chasing the champion, the prestige of the person? Because think about this.
Yeah.
Gunther has the belt. Jey Uso does not excite me. But if you put Braun Breaker on his path, okay, I'm excited now. That makes it, you know what I'm saying? You put somebody like Sami Zayn. Okay, yeah.
Ultimate underdog, yeah.
Yeah. Just like AEW. Okay, you got the belt. Okay, now, so you got the belt. Go ahead. Now you got Hangman Page who wants the belt. You got the Blade Runner. My boy Jay White, he wants the belt. Kenny Omega.
It was so cool to be there and to not just be in the building with them when that happened, but to call that match myself, to be the one to do the 1, 2, 3. Welcome back to the show we're trying to do. But it was so cool being there.
Disrespectful.
You're the one leaving in the middle of the show. But I loved it. Such a cool match. I do want to say I want to reach out and I hope he's okay. The very first match of that night, it was Atua, the man you happened to attack later on in that evening, versus Denzel Rollins. Denzel Rollins suffered a pretty nasty injury within the first few minutes of that match. I believe it was some sort of separated shoulder or something like that. I'm wishing him a speedy recovery, and I hope he can get back into doing things again, because he was in a lot of pain. I was scared for him when it happened, and I hope he comes back not just at 100%, but better than he's ever been beforehand.
With that being said, I'm not a big fan of either one of those guys, but I did see it, and I was kind of like worried about, it
was a scary situation.
Yeah, but Atua, as far as the Atua thing, he hurt a man, not on purpose. I don't think he did on purpose. But no, in all sincerity,
we can all have our opinions on the matter.
In all sincerity, I want to send a shout out to Denzel. I hope you are feeling better. But as far as the Tua thing, you want to know, you asked me, so I'm going to tell you. What the deal was for the first time, I want to send a shout out to Peter Van, the best commentator in all Mid-South Wrestling. Peter Van decided to give me my time. I asked where he gave it to me. Because of the politics and people like Craig Stone not respecting Manz and Black Diamond Enterprises, we hadn't been formally introduced. So, with that being said, I was in the middle of minding my business, introducing the Queen, introducing the General, putting the belt that matters, the Black Diamond World Heavyweight Championship, on my General, and the tour got in our business, bros, came out in our business. Now, we could have been cool and left. He's a big man, we could have been cool, but he put his hands on the General. What do you expect us to do? But I tell you what, he won't do it again because he got to meet Mr. Rollins, my head of security. And if you see the footage, it is so glorious.
I get it. He put your hands on y'all. Y'all are like a family. I understand that, and you got to protect your family. You got to protect your own. But man, with the Batman, it went a little too far. I just personal opinion, it felt like it went a little too far.
Too far?
Yes, too far.
You interrupted a segment of me and my people, me and my army talking. Then you came out and put your hands on us. So, but no, because we are who we are, we don't get love for that. We don't get the respect, and we don't get the bypass the fact that he came out of nowhere in our business and put his hands on the General. That's the problem I have right now with this sport. Black Diamond Enterprises are here to change the game. That is the issue we have. Too many people walking around here thinking they can do whatever they want to because they're friends with the upper management. While people like me, who have came from the guts of the streets and the gore of the hood, have to buckle up our bootstraps every single day, come in life and move around. You know, people out here like me, blue collar people that have to do what they have to do to get by. You have people like a two of them who gets to walk around high and mighty because they friends with the upper crust. That don't work that way. So Black Diamond, listen here. Anybody out there who's tired of being mistreated, misenfranchised, beat up, thrown to the side, come holler at your boy Mac Manz. Black Diamond Enterprises, we are so serious because we're in the midst of changing the sport of professional wrestling. We're not here to play games. We're not here to be your best friend. We're not here to sit back and play the corporate games and rules. We don't care about your titles. There's a number of trinkets to us. I can go get a gold watch or a gold chain. I use a belt to buckle my pants. But the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, we're going to change this sport of professional wrestling. That's all I got to say about that. And remember, you brought the subject up, not me.
All right. I think we're getting a little too heated. I think we're coming to a good natural conclusion. Before we get a little too ahead of ourselves, like every other podcast that we have done so far, I think we need to start trying to wrap it up before we get into it again. So again, thank you everyone out there in the world on the internet for checking us out and being here for Wrestling is Real, Fans Are Fake. Another episode in the books. Thank you so much for listening and watching. And again, I appreciate every single one of y'all for being here watching us, and I hope to see y'all very soon at the at least the very next Tuckerman show on February 8th. Come on out, come and see see us.
Valentine Vengeance. Valentine Vengeance. Also, I will let you know that Black Diamond Enterprise is not only staying connected to MACW, we have a couple of other visits as well. You won't find out about that until it's time. So stay tuned. You'll see us everywhere else just besides MACW. With that being said, let's not forget that you are the poster boy and fanboy for Mr. Action Jackson. I'm here to inform you that APS is going to present another event pretty soon. Stay tuned to the podcast. We'll tell you when and where and what's happening. And believe it, Black Diamond Enterprises is going to be in the house.
Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see y'all next time for the very next episode of Wrestling is Real and Fans Are Fake. We'll catch y'all next time.
Hey, we need to go out with real theme music. It's only theme music that matters. What you got a problem with it for?
Come and get this work. 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 Come and get this work.
What are you going to do to me?
Work. So it's time to clock in.
What are you about to do?
To the man, you better be locked in.
Yes, I got a problem. You're literally threatening me.